As Damon discussed, we're constantly facing new challenges, and the way we choose to view these challenges can change both our mindset and our behavior. The people that we partner with on these journeys also have a huge impact. You might have a mentor or someone who inspires you and motivates you to keep going. A coach plays a different role, although the terms are often used interchangeably, which adds to some of this confusion. So as we've mentioned, a big part of what we're doing today is trying to help build the understanding of what coaching is and why it can be so transformational without the coach actually providing advice, guidance, or answers. Pure coaching, not mentoring or training, involves lots of questions and usually a lot of silence from the coach. Can feel quite uncomfortable at times. Occasionally, with permission, they might share an observation. But what you'll notice is that the coach owns the process. So how is that session structured, and manages the time. It's the coach's responsibility to manage time, which will be a big challenge with only 30 minutes today. But the counterpart or the client, they own the goal and the focus for the session. What is it that you want to work on in that session? What do you want to be different at the end of that time? They also own their own actions outside of the session. Through that partnership, an individual can build awareness and motivation to drive change, whether that's different behavior, a change in their mindset, or a change in the environment in which they operate. The individual also discovers or creates the change that is needed, not the coach. So in summary, the key is that the coach is there not to solve problems, but to partner with their counterpart and to build the counterpart's own understanding and self-awareness. And no one's ever going to understand the detail, the context, the complexity, the nuances of what you're experiencing. So you are absolutely the expert and you hold the answers. If you have any questions throughout this, please just jump in, add them to the chat or put your hand up. So coaching goals, again, I'm going to move quickly. We don't have much time, and I know that this has been shared previously. So obviously this helps the coach to understand what you're trying to achieve and what to focus on. But from a neuroscience perspective, it actually also helps your brain to focus, and these goals will actually activate a part of your brain that helps to filter out irrelevant things, which is really important, because if you were actually absorbing everything that you could see, hear, smell, feel, you'd get overwhelmed. This is why when you buy a red car, all you can see is red cars. You know, they pop out at you because your brain is primed. So those goals are incredibly important to making the most of the session, and also to helping your coach to really make the most of the session. So you would have seen the exact model in your pre-work. These are some questions that can help you to think about, is this a useful goal? And we've used this rather than the SMART model for a couple of key reasons. It's actually more likely to create a positive goal, and accessible is more flexible than measurable. When it's a personal development goal, that might be like wanting to understand something better or take a different perspective. It's a little bit easier to assess if you've done that than to measure it. There's not always numbers involved. And finally, shifting from realistic in the SMART framework to challenging removes some of the constraints, because you might actually need to be challenged. It might be that you're being too realistic within this space. So